Hello and welcome to today's cryptocurrency trading video, a little bit different than normal, where I am going to be going through why and how I use several accounts while trading. So obviously after yesterday's live stream where I was talking about how I was holding a short and a long, some people were confused of why I would do this and also how you actually do this. So this video is to aid you to make an informed decision of basically how we go, why we really do this and exactly how we do it. So I hope that you do enjoy this video. You can learn a little bit from it and just, really clears it up. Because I honestly think that this is a brilliant way of trading. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. Hopefully fairly short and sweet video just to really emphasize what we're doing here. So first of all, and I guess we can also talk about the advantages and disadvantages if there are any of this method of trading. So let's begin. It all started off with we obviously held the short position from around $63,000, and we were obviously looking at the time while taking these shorts for a three drives pattern, which obviously means we're expecting lower on the Bitcoin chart. We also had the rising wedge, remember, which is a high term time frame bearish pattern. So we had a few reasons to short up here. Let's just remember this. But we obviously came down very low. We have obviously bottomed out at around $51,000. And if you're watching yesterday's live stream, you know that we longed the CC retracement here at $53,000. So in this moment in time, we are simultaneously holding a short while also holding a long. Okay, so this is why the question arose quite a lot. Is why would you do this? Okay, I'm going to actually use a really nice example of why we would do this, and this was a trade that was actually taken on, well, the day prior to this breaking down on the 17th of April, when we actually hit $59,720. This for me was a really important support level, yeah, which, as we can see in the end, was lost, flipped into resistance and a big move to the downside. But 59,720 at the time was a very important support level for me. So I naturally did take a long off of this level. And this is the advantage of having a few different accounts. Obviously, I'm in a short from 63k, the region of 63k, expecting a move to the downside. And I do not want to close this short, even not here, and I didn't want to close it at 53k. Why? Because I hadn't actually seen any sign of strength. And me being a trader that kind of likes to have that hedge when we're in a local downtrend, I don't want to close out of that short too early, and then see a move to the downside exactly like we saw and lose a lot of USD value. So I like to keep in my shorts until I've really seen that sign of strength. And so this is a really, really, really nice example of how you would not, in my opinion, want to close your shorts at 59,700, or not just off the bat closing it with a preset order. Because overall, you have to remember the context of a rising wedge, which can see a breakdown to around $53,000. Secondly, you have a three drives pattern, which can also see you coming down to around $58,000. So it doesn't really make sense to close your short at 59,700, although that is a very good long trade. Okay, actually had a fairly nice bounce off of it. Obviously, in the end, we lost the level and went down lower, but that's not really important in this. What the important thing is we want to hold on to the short because we are expecting lower on the Bitcoin chart, but we recognize the opportunity for a long here. If this long had actually done something like this and not have rejected for another lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, and obviously just massive move to the downside. If we'd actually done something like this, for example, changed that, moved back up, and we basically had got a full-on reversal from this point, then that would be a time to obviously look to close the shorts. But we recognize we do not want to close the shorts, but we simultaneously do want to take a long because firstly there's a good scalp trade, or secondly there's a possibility of a reversal, so we want to get involved in the market. But we do not want to close the short because there's still a high probability that we're going lower. Okay, so the question of why would we want to hold two positions at the same time? Well, reason number one is because we're in a short, for example, and we're expecting lower. We have to think overall it's going to come lower because there's no reason to not think otherwise while we're in that local downtrend. And we obviously have a few big term time frame bearish patterns forming on the chart. Okay, so why would we then, if that's the case on the bigger term time frame, we're expecting lower, why would we want to also take a long position here? well, we'd want to take a long position here because we recognize that this is a good area of support and it's good enough for at least a little bounce. And we did get the little bounce, to be fair. Okay, this was a bounce in the end of around 2%. Very good if you're trading with decent size. Well, I guess for anybody, 2% is good. So you got a good bounce off that, and it's not something that you want to miss out on. And you also obviously always have the potential of a full-on reversal at that level. Obviously, in the end, it didn't happen, but that's out of the scope of the video. But what we're saying here is, so I just want to make this very clear. Why would we want to hold two positions at the same time? Well, we would want to do that because we do not want to close our primary position. And secondly, we see opportunities for potential reversals or at the very least quick trades. Yeah. So this is a reason why we'd want to hold at least two positions simultaneously at the same time. Well, obviously this is then taking your shorts from up at the highs, and then you're able to take a few longs, towards the lows. Obviously, what you wouldn't want to do, and I was saying this yesterday in the Champions live stream, doesn't make sense to, if you're at one price, take a long and a short at the same time. That's an absolute waste of time. It just doesn't make any sense. So what you would, if you want to hold two positions simultaneously, it's like when you get a short maybe from the high and then you move down and then you want to take a long from the low. That would make sense to hold two positions simultaneously. Then you could say if you shorted this, you'd now maybe be out the short, for example, and let the long run. And you'd let one of the positions run when the other one gets invalidated. Okay, so that's the why would you want to hold two positions at the same time. And it's like I was talking about a little bit last night is, we had a short running from here. And you're able to, during this whole section, which we're talking about, that you can see in here about 10 different trades. So you don't want to be closing out of this short because it's a high term time frame swing trade. But you want to be able to take a lot of different trades in here, a lot of different day trades, for example. And let's even say, for example, you've take a long here. In the end, it got stopped out. Very small loss, let's say. You took a long here, it got stopped out. You took a long here, it got stopped out. But the losses are, you're able to get out of these break even, very small, but very small scraps. While simultaneously, you are making money off of the short. So what we call it, what I'm referring to this as is you're able to take very small losses on the long position, okay? Because you're being hedged by that big short position. So you're being hedged by your shorts. And so you're able to take a few different, scratches, a few different attempts at the long, which are ultimately failing. But you're holding a bigger short position, which is at the same time like your home run. Yeah, so you're getting you're taking a few swings on these longs, which are missing. Okay, so we're missing, and we're getting stopped out, let's say break even. But we've got the bigger home run still running around, still making us money. So we're able to take more, I don't want to call it a risk per se, but we're just able to take more opportunities, and maybe we get a reversal and a home run on one of these. And if not, we're getting out pretty much break even, off of these, let's just say even if they're ending in losses, the losses are relatively small, especially when you remember you've got the head short running. Okay. So then obviously we come down to this scenario yesterday where we long $53,000. And why would we want to long there? Well, that was a massive area of value. That was a very, very good long position. You had several different confluences to long there. And so this is where you could say that this is then another swing trade potentially. Yeah, you could have another swing, I believe, from here. So then, if you want to, let's say, hold the swing short still until you maybe reclaim, I don't know, let's say $60,000. Then you could say, I want to hold this swing short, I want to hold this swing long and see what resistance or support gets claimed next. Well, then you're going to maybe need 3 accounts. So it's not just one account for longs, one account for shorts, but you then need one account for your swing long, one account for your swing short. Okay, and you might even have a 4th account for then taking day trades. So you've got one locked up in a long, you've got one locked up in a short, and then you want another account to take your scalp trades. Of course, this is then coming on to having quite a lot of accounts. Some people might not want to do this. They might think it's too much work. There's a whole list of reasons why people might think, oh, I can't be bothered to do that. For me, I do not find it very bad at all. It's really not time consuming. A very quick method of switching between your Bybit accounts or whatever account you want to use is within, for example, Chrome or Firefox, you've got a little profile tab. So you can switch between your profiles and the account logged in very, very quickly. Alternatively, you can use a program such as Atos, Sierra Charts, so that it doesn't support as much trading technologies. You got these different platforms where you can log into all your accounts at the same time, and with one click of a button, you can take trades on several different accounts. So third-party software is obviously available if you're interested in third-party software. But for the people that just want to stick on the exchange, then obviously you can very quickly get in and out of accounts by just using the profile feature inside of your browser. So I've got to state in this video, no financial advice. We're not telling people what to do with their money. No advice at all. This is just entertainment video only. Okay, no advice at all given in this video. Nothing of the sorts. Hate to give that disclaimer every video. It's kind of like we've been recommended to do it because people are crazy, even though it kind of feels unnecessary. But anyway. Yeah, that's really what we were wanting to focus on. Now you know the reasons why we would hold a long and a short simultaneously, how you would do it, where you can use a lot of different profiles within the browser. And, we're talking about you could potentially have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different accounts, all and trading on them all. Obviously, this is the post where Trading Assistant received a lot of questions about customer service over in the DMs. And this is obviously the post that we were referring to here, where people were asking me about my exchange of choice. And I mean, you can pause and read this really, but I do all my trading only on Bybit. And a lot of people are like, oh, you're not gonna be able to trade whatever this coin is called. And it's like, I have a selection of different altcoins. Actually, I can show you one of the altcoins I'm in right now. For me, I have enough to trade over on Bybit. I'm pretty content with it. And on top of that, there was a lot of questions obviously about this yesterday because Binance went down again. Binance went down again yesterday during the really big drop to the downside. So many people were annoyed about that. Loads of people's stop losses didn't even hit, so they were getting liquidated because they have a stop loss set and it didn't even trigger, so they were liquidated. And there was quite a lot of uproar because they would literally lost money and Binance refused to acknowledge it. I've always said it's a very shady exchange, and this is why I'm happy to work with Bybit. I think they are, for me anyway, they do everything that I want, and I trust them personally. Of course, you got to do your own research, but this is my thoughts on it. They got the best fees, they got the best user interface. It's just easy. There's no confusion. And obviously the biggest competitors, they kind of are rubbish. Binance rubbish, Kraken is got scam with, Coinbase very high fees, FTX and Fairmex, they have liquidity problems. So it's like, yeah, I don't know, like for me, like the best overall exchange is Bybit. So that's kind of why we recommend them, so to speak. But obviously people can make their own decisions. But yeah, obviously what customer service wrote up here was just like, if you want to trade on one account, you could do that on the USDT pair on Bybit because you can short and long simultaneously from the same screen. So you don't need to be logging in and logging out, but it does mean you need to hold Tether. Whereas if you want to hold Bitcoin on Bybit, then what you can do is trade the perpetual swaps and the expiration futures, e.g. the ones that are going to expire next on the 25th of June. So that's the way that you can do it all in one account. Obviously, alternatively, you can just create a second account to use, one for longs, one for shorts, or even a third account for swing trades, a fourth account for scalp trades. Okay. So there's a lot of different possibilities. Of course, we have an affiliate deal with Bybit, and if you're interested in that, then you can actually get $200 for free on every account that you create. So if you create 5 accounts, obviously you have to deposit on the 5 accounts. So you deposit 0.5 Bitcoin on every account, then you're going to get $1,000 for free by depositing on 5 accounts. So that you could consider that an advantage potentially, no? And yeah, I think that's everything that I wanted to make you aware of on this video. Obviously what I can say and end with is obviously if you would like to see the list of deals that we have, we obviously do have, and I think Bybit is that's where I personally trade. But if you want to do this on and take advantage of some of our other deals, of course, over on the deals page on the website, we have affiliate deals with a few other places as well. If you're interested, obviously you can make that decision at the end of the day. But for me, Bybit is my exchange of choice. And yeah, I hope this video has been helpful to you in understanding why we're taking 2 positions simultaneously. And obviously it's primarily because if we've got a bigger high term time frame idea, we don't want to close out of that trade Okay, obviously this one exceeded all expectations. I was not necessarily expecting $51,000, but because I had no reason to close my short in any of this move, I'm able to really get that massive home run here, a very, very, very massive short trade, exceeding expectations. And that was really because I was happy to let it run, because on another account, I'm scalping longs. Okay, obviously we can see in the end there, we're taking scraps, we're taking little scratches, and we're missing the ball on some of the hits, and getting a stop loss. But because the bigger trade of the short is hedging our bets there, essentially, we're able to take a few more quote unquote risky trades. I wouldn't say the risk is any higher, but I hope you can see what I mean. I'm able to take a few more trades with a bit more of a relaxed mindset, knowing that I have this hedge. Okay. So yeah, and then if you have a swing long and a swing short, if you start to break back above that high, you can close that swing short. And after you now have this swing long starts to run, well, you're going to try and keep that one open. Of course, things to bear in mind are your funding rates, of course. Another thing to bear in mind, try and think if there's anything else. Yeah, generally on these swing positions, you are going to be taking profits. So, when you come down to a major level of support, such as 53k, that swing short that you're holding, you're bound to have taken profits there. It's just kind of, if you view this as a good swing long, then it's naturally going to be a good position to take profits on the swing short. Even if it comes down lower, it's still a good take profit. I think that's about it though, I suppose. If you do have any other questions, you're probably best off joining the Discord and ask it in here. It's a lot easier to go back and forth on Discord rather than YouTube comments, if you have like a long discussion or comment to be asking. For the sign-up links, if you want to take advantage of the free $200 with the deposit bonus, the links will be down in the description, or obviously over on Discord in the socials. And yeah, I really hope that this has aided, or at least given a bit of clarity of why and how we do this. And yeah, should you have any other questions, just maybe leave them in the comments down below, or join the Discord, whatever whatever. And I hope I've answered as much questions as I can think. Over the questions over the last 24 hours, I've done all the ones that have been asked. But should you have any other questions, of course, just ask, and me, customer service, trading assistant, one of us will get back to you and help you. So there you go. Hope you've learned something in this video, understand why, the hows, and the advantages. So yeah, cheers everybody. Have a brilliant day. And yeah, thank you. Cheers.